Hey guys, this is my first time trying a video like this. I haven't posted in a while. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year like I did. So yeah, onto the stuff here. I wanted to talk about this guy right here, Jeff Sessions. Yeah, as we already know, most of us already do if we follow social media or watch the news or listen to people talk in the supermarket. I'm pretty sure we've all heard about Jeff Sessions' recent come down on marijuana. And apparently, Jeff Sessions has had a long history of strongly disliking marijuana, which has been used for many things, for things like treating pain, for cancer, for seizures, for anxiety, depression, insomnia, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I'm sure, you know what, if anybody's watching this video, they probably already know that marijuana is like a very helpful thing. I agree, some people do smoke it too much, and some people can function when they do that, and some people can't. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous to come down on something like this, and the kinds of things this guy is saying about weed. It's definitely targeted to rile up just unintelligent, uneducated individuals and just let it feed whatever weird delusion that they're existing in. Because here, the Washington Post, I'm sorry, this one's the Huffington Post. This is the Washington Post. The Huffington Post just put out an article about it yesterday. Everybody did. But it reads here, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, a vocal and longtime opponent of marijuana, will allow the nation's top federal prosecutors to decide how to handle marijuana cases in states where the drug has been legalized. If you don't understand completely, what that means is that the federal government could come in and bust a marijuana shop in California, where it just became legal, where I live, or in Colorado, where it's been legal for a long time, and they've made huge strides forward for treating people for all sorts of conditions, and it's infuriating. So I'm going to play this video for you guys, just to show you the kinds of people that are being affected by this marijuana law. This is a video here just, showing you an example of the kind of people that are affected by Jeff Sessions' outlook on marijuana.
This is my prescription oxycodone, an opiate. My treatment was 6 months of chemotherapy and then a month of radiation. But luckily, because I live in Nevada, I had access to medical marijuana, which got me through my treatments and is one of the reasons why I'm still here today. That's why I'm so disappointed with Jeff Sessions' decision today to make marijuana harder to access for people who need it, like me.
This drug is dangerous. You cannot play with it. It's not funny. It's not something to laugh about. Good people don't smoke marijuana.
I just wish that Jeff Sessions would have to look in our faces and explain why it's more important that we suffer than that we have access to the medication we need.
So good people don't smoke marijuana, but this lady is clearly struggling with an illness and a disease that I don't think that she or anybody deserves. And she found relief with something other than opiates. And, the opiates are still legal and easy to get. I mean, they're getting harder to get, but they're still easier to get in some states than CBD or marijuana. And it's very frustrating to me because when you look at overdose death rates, drugs involved in U.S. overdose deaths, among the more than 64,000 drug overdose deaths estimated in 2016, the sharpest increase occurred among deaths related to fentanyl analogs, which are synthetic opioids, with over 20,000 overdose deaths. And then that doesn't even include the actual opioids that lead to people doing heroin. If anything's a gateway drug to heroin, it's definitely opioids. At one point, Jeff Sessions was comparing marijuana to heroin. It's supposed to be similar to heroin in his mind, and it seems like he has either no desire to learn about it, or actually, I think it's not that he has no desire to learn about it, it's that he has a desire to amp people up. He wants to just really get people going and get them riled up about all sorts of crazy stuff that doesn't even exist, just so, he has his own agenda. Okay, so here's an interesting article that I just found when I was looking for information about Jeff Sessions' possible affiliations with the prison systems. So this is a really interesting article from February, February 2017. He just did this marijuana thing yesterday. So he did something similar back in 2017, and we may have missed it and forgot, because that's what we do a lot, is we get on to the next thing and we forget. So here's a very interesting article from February 2016. The Justice Department's plan to phase out its use of private prisons, the result of declining inmate populations and concerns about safety and security, ended this week without ever really taking effect. The reason is a new administration that has called for a crackdown on what it sees as a rise in crime. Okay, so here we go. He already made the connection that marijuana is causing a rise in crime. It's completely false. I don't think that there's any evidence to back this up. It's just somebody's opinion, which is getting thrown around in a lot of people's eyes as evidence for certain things, just because this random dude here, Jeff Sessions, I don't even know who this guy is other than the Attorney General right now. But yeah, so this guy says he sees that there's a rise in crime. So the crackdown could lead to more arrests, which in turn could result in more people in prison. Okay, which presumably is why Attorney General Jeff Sessions rescinded a 6-month-old Obama administration directive that sought to curtail, meaning to cut back on and reduce the government's use of private prisons. So why does this guy right here have an interest in keeping the prisons full? It might have something to do with his several shares that he has in private prisons, or in, I think it was security companies or something. You feel free to, look it up yourself. I'm going to link all these articles up in the description so you can see. Basically, this guy's just a freaking nuisance. Like, he's got some sort of agenda. He doesn't care about us as a people. Here, so 61% of Americans are in favor of legalizing marijuana. 64%. I've seen 93% of adult Americans in another video. It seems like pretty much the general consensus is most people want legalized marijuana. Okay, so here's another interesting point. 0 people died from marijuana overdoses. And here's the overdose death rates for other things. Here. So this is just drugs in general. 64,000 Americans died from drug overdoses, none of which were marijuana, but yet it's dangerous. Another thing Jeff Sessions wanted to point out was that marijuana was causing more crime and violence, just, for whatever reason. But I think what he really wants is for the prisons to be full. Like back from this whole thing back in February, it's again another attempt to fill up the prisons, because if they start busting people in legal states with marijuana, they're all going to prison because they committed a federal crime. And this guy is happy. This guy's happy when everybody's in prison. I don't know what the correlation is, but it's really something that I think everybody should think about. I think you should think about. I think you guys should do your own research, see what you can find. Let me know in the comments what you think. And do me a favor, like and subscribe if you want to see more. of how I feel about the things going on. This is just a new thing I'm trying. I'm not sure how often I'll be posting. Hopefully I can, I do get pretty outraged sometimes. So, sometimes I write a blog. Sometimes I just want to talk about it, it's just frustrating. Like, personally, I don't think this guy is at all worried about our well being. I think if he was, he'd be more concerned with people getting the medicine that they believe helps them, not the medicine that is known to kill people every single year. And those numbers have just been increasing drastically because of their highly addictive qualities. Nobody overdoses from marijuana. The fact that he's running around calling it dangerous is just beyond me. I can't fathom it. We all know, hopefully most of us know that marijuana is not dangerous. Alcohol's a lot more dangerous than marijuana. People run around and they do stupid shit all the time. They get in car accidents, they hurt people. But no, let's put these people in prison because they're using something to help them. Even if they're not using it to help them, I don't know. When I'm angry and I feel violent, I guess, I don't really typically feel violent, but if I was going to feel violent, I would think smoking a nice blunt would calm me down, if anything. I don't think it would lead to more violence. But, you can go down to the liquor store and get a bottle of Jack Daniels and drink it until you can't even remember what you're doing. That doesn't happen with marijuana. I don't know what world this guy lives in. People like this, he does not speak for the majority of the country. Anybody that doesn't support marijuana probably doesn't like know or care to know. They just have their opinions and they don't really want to learn. So, maybe share this video. It might have given you some insight. You might not agree with me. That's fine. I think that, we should be able to look past our disagreements and not be, hateful. But this guy seriously pisses me the fuck off. It's just, look at his face. Seriously. I haven't even gotten into talking about the opiate and the pharmaceutical thing with him. I could save that for another video if I want to continue talking about Jeff Sessions, which I really don't. I think that's all I really have to talk about right now. So have a great day, everybody. I hope you are doing well, and I will talk to you soon.